Today, take a look at the Saramonic 2.4 GHz 4-channel wireless microphone system. So we got a nice clamshell case. It even has a strap on the top so we can carry it around. So we got our instructions. We got 4 transmitters and we got 1 receiver. It does have a clip on the back. We got 4-track on, so I'm going to actually be able to separate these channels out. We got our charging ports, we got our power switch, and we got a mute button so we can turn this whole thing off. And on the top we got a monitoring jack, and we got our line out for the camera. For the transmitters, we got our power button, we got a mic built in, we got a Spot 4 lab mic, and we got our power switch. It also has a clip, and we have a volume adjustment on the side. Okay. We're going to have a total of 4 of these wired lav mics. They are TRS because they are 3 contacts, and they have an alligator clip built in. So this is interesting. The windscreen actually has a little rubber O-ring built into it. Most of the time it's just foam holding it on. We have 2 charging cables, so this is USB-A to triple USB-C, so we can charge up to 6 devices at once. We have an adapter to go from the receiver to our phone, so this is a TRRS. We have an adapter to go from the receiver to our camera, so this is a TRS. And then we have a splitter to go from the microphone to 4 independent devices, so you can monitor each channel individually. So I'm going to plug some earbuds into the headphone jack so I can hear what's going on. And for the line out, I'm going to plug this into my camera so that you can hear what's going on. So we are on. The blue light is flashing. Now I don't want to use 4-track because I'm going to be plugging this into the camera, so it's going to record all the channels into a 2-channel stereo. So now I'm going to unplug my lab mic and I'm going to plug this guy in. Test, 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 test. Okay, so right now I'm holding it about 2 feet away from my face. Right now I'm holding it about 3 feet away from my face. And right now I'm holding it right up to my mouth. Test, 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 test. And if I was to clip this onto my shirt, this is about what it would sound like if I was talking away from the microphone, but I had it clipped directly onto my chest. Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Now I'm going to plug in the lav mic. Test, 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 test. This is right in front of my mouth. Now we are about 1 foot away. Test, 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 test. 2 feet away. Test, 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 test. And 3 feet away. Test, 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 test. Now I'm going to clip this onto my shirt. So this is about where my previous lav mic was. So you can kind of compare the difference between this and my old lav mic. Test, 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 test. So this is what it would sound like if I was going to be making a video. Now I'm going to turn on a second remote. Test, 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 test. There we go. So now I've got my 2 lab mics. Now you probably are going to pick up an echo if you put them too close to each other. And that is exactly what I am intentionally doing right here. We can go ahead and set that guy up. Let's go ahead and turn on the other 2. Okay, test, 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 test. So now we are hearing 4 different mics, and there's going to be quite a bit of echo in there, but at least we can make sure that they are all in fact working. So as to prevent annoying the heck out of you, I'm going to shut these 3 off. And I am curious if there is a mute. Test, test, test. Yes. So that is good. I'm going to go ahead and mute all. Test, 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 test. Excellent. So we can in fact mute it just with a simple button press. So that way you're not going to be getting any recording when somebody has to step into the bathroom. Always an important thing. And I do like that the light actually changes as well. So yeah, there's a ton of options here. If you have to mic up 4 people, or if you just want to have 4 different mics in 4 different locations, plus the fact that we can fully split this out, so we can put this into a 4-channel receiver, and then we can independently change those channels later on in post. This is a really, really nice system. And on top of that, being able to just clip this onto your belt, and then you can walk around. You don't have to have a cord connected from you to the camera. That is going to make this a lot nicer than what I usually do, which is connecting my lav mic directly to the camera. So yeah, overall, I am happy with that.